You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. If you are afraid to lose, you won't make any money. I didn't see any of this in my path. I just decided to start. Hey YouTube, I'm Tevin, but you guys can call me T. You don't have to have it all figured out to start. I'm gonna be honest with you. You see all of this behind me? All the business ideas? Yo, some of them I don't know I'm gonna achieve it. Yeah, I write down how, or I write down how I think I will, but some of them the plans might change. But hear me out. You don't actually have to know how you'll achieve it. All you need to do is just start. Yo, I didn't know, or I didn't know the steps to take to actually achieving 82 subscribers, actually gaining 82 subscribers, or gaining certain things. Bro, you think when I just started all of this, you think when I said, oh, I'm gonna buy my car, I know how I was gonna achieve it? I saw in my mind that, yo, I would be working and saving all my cash. Come to find out that, yo, all the years when I didn't learn, or I didn't know how to pay my taxes, and when I finally paid, all the tax refund would help me to buy my first car, bro. Yo, you think I knew that? It was just because I decided to put my focus on something. I decided to take a leap. When I just started going to the gym, you think I knew how I would get this physique? I didn't even know how to actually start working out. I didn't know the exact splits to take. And when I started, mentors came in my life, bro. Mentors actually appeared in my life and helped me becoming the version of myself who I am today. When I decided to change for the better, I didn't know where I would end up. I didn't know who I would become. And bro, you don't get it, dog. God placed people in my life into helping me to become the version of myself who I am today. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. Take that leap of faith and start. Yo, like, bro, when I created this channel, it had a different name before. I didn't know I would become T. Cause yo, a lot of people never call me that before. It was after I started this YouTube channel, I started introducing myself as T. Because that is the version of myself that I want to become. I want to become this version of myself who is locked in and focused, who can actually achieve the dreams that he has set his mind to. So I introduced myself as T. I didn't know that I would be on the path into becoming that version of myself. I just started doing the stuff that required me to actually becoming that version of myself. I didn't have it all figured out at the start. Yo, I didn't even know how to edit video using the software that I had. Bro, back then when I learned how to edit video, it was on phone using like InShot and stuff like that. I didn't even know anything about vlogging or camera. I just started. Yo, my very first video that I ever posted was like back in 2025, early start of 2025, when I was going through my breakup and my betrayal, and my friends just switched up on me. And I recorded a video about heartbreak, and that video, it's now in private, but it has 95 views. That's the most views that none of my videos has ever gotten. And I placed it in private. Yo, I recorded that with my iPhone, bad camera iPhone, like it was leaned upon something. Like I didn't know that I would become this version of myself. I didn't see myself with 83 subs or 84. I didn't see any of this in my path. I just decided to start. And yo, when I decided to drop videos frequently, I didn't know, like, consistently drop videos every day. I didn't know that it would lead me here. I didn't even know how I would do it, because back then I used to work like 6 days a week max, or some days 7 days a week. Some days I was pulling in like 16 hours, 18 hours a day. I would get up from 5 and go to bed at 3, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I would still record a video, I still edit a video, and still have it to post. I didn't know how I would do it, but I just started doing it. And it paid off, because it has led me onto gaining 100 subscribers. Probably next month I have 100 subs. Bro, you don't have to have it all figured out to start. Just start. Once you have that goal in your mind, just start. God gave you that goal for a reason. If God didn't want you to accomplish that dream, he wouldn't have set it in your mind. Yo, a lot of people don't know this, but God has given us every resource that we need to achieve whatever we set our mind to. God has given us every resource to become the person who we are ordained to be. But a lot of us sit and waste time, sit down and be comfortable, not actually reaching our full potential because we're afraid to take the next step. We are afraid to take a risk into becoming the best version of ourselves. Yo, if some of us just took that one risk, if some of us just went and spoke to that girl, if someone just started that business idea, if some of us just posted that video, it would change our life completely. But we are afraid to take that risk. You can't be afraid to take risks and want to accomplish anything meaningful in life. You're just playing life safe. You can't want to become the best version of yourself and you can't be afraid to take risks. I'm going to tell you a story. Back then when I got back into trading, I was so afraid of losing. That's why I stopped trading in the first place, because I lost money. I saw the market going down and I panicked and sold. And I lost money from that and I got back into trading. I'm like, yo, if you are afraid to lose, you won't make any money. And I conditioned myself. I bought a stock that was in the red, just going down, constantly going down. And I'm like, yo, I'm not selling you until you go up. And a few days later, it just went up. I'm like, yeah. And when it went back down, I kept it because I'm like, yo, you prove me that you were able to go down and come back up. And I proved to myself that I am able to take a loss, knowing that I will win from it, knowing that I will gain experience from it. And that's because I took a risk with my finance, bro. A lot of you don't get it. The market was bad a few days ago. I know I switched it up to talking about stocks now, but the market was bad a few days ago. I was at, say, what, $800. Say that, $800. And I went all the way down to $6. Bro, that's over $100 loss. And I had 3 stocks. Bro, I had in Nvidia. Nvidia was so, yo, I consider it my powerhouse. It was so beautiful. I made so much money off of it, bro. And I just kept on losing and losing. And I'm like, yo, I'm not selling until you go back up. And I still have it. It's not where it was when I lost from it, but I'm not selling it until I make back my money or I make more off of it. You have to be willing to take a risk. Yo, imagine if I sold back then. Imagine if I panicked and sold again. I would have lost so much. Bro, I know my account is higher than it ever been. Like, yo, bro, you have to be able to take a risk. If you're unable to take a risk, you will never grow. Yo, losses are things that teach us. Yeah, you might take a risk and you lose from it, but you should look at that as a positive experience and not a negative experience. I've taken so much losses. Like, yo, 2025 was a year filled with losses. And even though I was losing constantly, I still took risks. I risk losing, I risk leaving the job I had, leaving my stable income. I risk actually joining a mentorship, not knowing if I would get scammed or not. And it actually paid off. I learned from leaving my job and I actually learned in that mentorship. And that mentor helped me into building the foundation into the person who God ordained me to be, the best version of myself. You have to be able to take a risk to actually accomplishing your dreams. You can't want to stay mediocre forever. You have to be able to take a risk. You must be willing to take a risk. You must be willing to take a leap of faith to actually accomplishing your dream. Every great man and woman took a risk before. Jeff Bezos left his Wall Street job to actually start in Amazon. And look where Amazon is today. Look where he is today. Like Mark Zuckerberg took a risk in creating Facebook. Steve Jobs took a risk in creating Apple. Everyone great took a risk into starting something. You can't want to be this extraordinary person but unwilling to take a risk. You can't want to play life on the safe mode and thinking you're going to be extraordinary, thinking you're going to be exceptional. You have to be willing to take a risk into becoming the person that you're supposed to be, into becoming the best version of yourself. To gain exceptional results, you have to do exceptional amount of work. To become the best version of yourself, you must be willing to lose your current version to becoming that best version of yourself. That's bars, but kind of twisted, kind of mixed up in a sense. But yo, focus. Take a risk into becoming the best version of yourself. Take a risk into actually achieving that dream. Take a risk into actually speaking to that girl. Take a risk into starting that business. Just take that risk. You never know what you will actually learn from it. You never know what you will accomplish if you actually take the risk. But that's the video for the day. Take the risk. Peace.